What's up, guys? Welcome to our first episode of Culture Shock. Today we're with our friend Ahmet from Turkey, and he's going to show us a little bit about his hometown of Giresun and Turkish culture. So we're very excited to learn about that.
I think I should show you Giresun, the city center, actually,
Okay.
because where I live, you cannot see a lot of things. That's why I think it would be better to stroll through the streets of Giresun.
So this is the center of Giresun. Okay, interesting.
Kind of, yeah. This is the kind of, not the city center. Actually, the city center, the square, is not here, and I'm not sure if this street view is a new one or an old.
June 2020.
Okay, 2020. Okay, so yeah, here is the city center. We can see. So you can see a street here, and the street. You see a car, a red car right there. You know, and when you go down, you can see lots of shopping stores. I mean, that kind of things, cafes. Actually, this is the city center. You know, it's a small city because of the because it's a coastal city, but you cannot see lots of flat areas. That is why it's a mountainous area. That's why you cannot see a big city. It's a small city. It is like located on the slope of a mountain. So that's why you cannot see so many flat areas.
So the center of Giresun is full of flashy ads and businesses everywhere. Huh.
Yeah.
So I assume you can find literally everything you want in the center here.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see lots of things everywhere in Turkey, yeah.
So a question here, why are there flags everywhere? Is this some kind of national festival or what's up with that?
Our flag is the most important thing for us, for Turks. Our motherland and our flag are the two things that we can die for. That's why you can see the flags everywhere. So someone can see the flags everywhere, but you cannot see them on the street. You can see them on the walls, and up in the sky. You cannot see them, like on the roads or somewhere, because our flag is the most important thing for us.
It's seen as kind of sacred.
Yep. So we can say this is the main square. Yeah, kind of the main square I can see. And can you just show us the around?
So this here's the main square. I really like the main square. I mean, the red and the green, they really go well together.
So as I said before, our city is a developing one, so it's not a developed city. That is why, this is the square. Yeah? This is the main square. And there is actually a mountain. There's actually a fountain in this city square, but I think you didn't show us. Okay, when you show us the right part of the city, you can see the Black Sea. We call it the Black Sea because the color of it sometimes looks like looks like black. That's why we call it the Black Sea. And the region and the name of the region Giresun is located in comes from that sea, the Black Sea. That's why there are seven regions in Turkey, and I am from the Black Sea region. And as I said before, the name comes from the Black Sea that we can see now. Yeah, you see there. Yeah, on the left side of the city, you can see a small beach. It's not that big, but you can see some people camping there, people, swimming, spending time with their families. Sometimes some people drink there also.
The mountains, the sea, it would be amazing just to jog here early in the morning.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, certainly. So when you go this way, we can see my city, Blanja. And as I said before, Giresun is really a small city in Turkey, so that's why there is not much to see around. Giresun is famous for its green and blue. The plateaus, the highlands of Giresun, are really famous. popular here among tourists.
So we know that Turkey is very rich in culture, diversity. So my question is there any difference between the Western Turk and the Eastern Turk?
In terms of what, for example?
In terms of culture, mentality, being traditional, liberal, like that. Because on one side, you can find, for example, women specifically wearing skinny jeans, wearing no headscarf, like this girl here, and at the same time, you can also find women who wear more conservative clothes and headscarf, like the women here on this line. So that's my question.
Yeah, Turkey is actually, is like a bridge because, it connects Asia and Europe. That is why you can see both cultures, the East and the West, blended into one single country. That's why, like you said, you can see both the Western culture and the Eastern culture in Turkey. But in the eastern part of Turkey, you can see the Eastern influence much more, while you can see the Western influence maybe in the western part of Turkey. But especially in Istanbul, you can see the mixture of both history and development and Eastern influence, Western influence, everything you can see there. It's a cosmopolitan city, so that's why you can see all of them. You can experience the East and the West together when you visit Turkey.
So we noticed this interesting pride here. So this pride has to do with Turkey's location being the center of the world, as in the center of two great cultures, the Middle Eastern culture and the European culture. Is it like that?
Yeah, it's actually like that. As I said before, our country is the most important thing for all of the Turks. And for example, we say that every Turkish is born as a soldier because we love our country so much. And let's say, for example, there is an attack on Turkey, and everyone without any gender or regardless of their gender, age, whatever, people are ready to fight for their country. And you can see this. We're really proud of our country, and you can see this proudness everywhere on watches. They wear on their T-shirts, on their hats, everywhere. You can see this. You can feel this proudness. Especially, I have a friend from Africa, and when he came to Turkey and visited Turkey, he told me that he saw Turkish flags everywhere, and he felt that our flag is the most important for us. And he said that in his own country, there's nothing like that. And he said, "I'm jealous of you just because of this." So yeah, you can see this proudness everywhere when you meet a Turk, for example, or when you visit Turkey. Yeah, this is true.
Okay, so Ahmed, I kind of want to go back for a second to what you were talking about with Turkish nationalism and the whole idea that like every
Yeah.
Turk is born a soldier. Um,
Yeah.
This is obviously something that comes from, like, whenever I think of Turkey, one of the things I think about is Ataturk. I was wondering if you could tell us kind of a little bit of how Ataturk, like what role Ataturk plays in modern Turkish society, and whether or not like modern Turkish society reflects what Erdogan would have wanted to see.
So, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, or Ataturk, is the founder of the modern Turkey. So we call him the father of Turks. That's why he's really, he's a hero for us, for Turks, and he's really important in our history as well. After the fall of the Ottoman Empire, the allied powers, attacked the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottoman Empire was about to fall, and the Allies were thinking about sharing the sharing parts of Turkey, the eastern part is, for example, for France and for England, for example, and maybe the western part for Italy or Greece, and they were thinking about, parting the country. But Ataturk came up and he saved us from this. So he's our hero, and he's the founder of our country. That's why he's really important. And he is really important in our modern Turkey, because he founded the modern Turkey. And he was not only a soldier, he was a reformist, he was a nationalist, and he was an author. He was everything that a country needed. So, and he also had 6 principles. One of them was, of republicanism, and the other one was secularism, and the other one was populism, and the other one nationalism, and the kind of and one of them was reformism, for example. So you can see that Ataturk had everything to build up a nation, to found a new state, a national state. So that's why Ataturk is really important in our history. And I don't think that we can compare Ataturk to Erdogan, because we are living in a different era, different period of time. And so I think when you are, for example, delving into something, you should do it considering the fact that it happened in the past, and something is happening right now. So you cannot, compare someone to someone from now to someone from history. It would be, really nonsense, and I don't think it will make sense if we do this.
Okay. So,
So I noticed this picture of Ataturk right there, and there's a Turkish flag in the middle, his signature right there, the red collar, of course. Could you actually translate and tell us what's it saying?
Okay. And so you can see a long line there, a long passage there, but it's like lessons to the Turkish youth. Your primary duty is to save the Turkish Republic and maintain it, and the kind of lessons that we take from him.
okay, so obviously, as you said, Ataturk was 100 years ago, Erdogan is now, so you really can't compare them, which makes complete sense. But on the subject of Erdogan, do you think that Erdogan is pushing Turkey in the right direction or the wrong direction? And what is the general opinion of the population in regards to Erdogan?
Okay, I understand. So in every country, people are divided. Let's look at the example of the U.S. For example, Joe Biden and Trump. They were running for presidency, and now Joe Biden is the president-elect, and but that doesn't mean that half of the people, for example, don't like Trump or don't like Joe Biden. That's why here in Turkey, the situation is the same, and maybe half of the country or half of the population doesn't love Erdogan, and the other half do. That's why I can't say anything about him when we think about the population. But to me, I'm neutral about him, and because every statesperson has some, positive and negative things. I think he is maybe taking Turkey to the right direction at some points, and maybe he's doing something wrong as well. So I think we should look at very carefully when we assess her position in presidency.
Obviously, so Erdogan, he's in his political party, the AK party. He's obviously more of I guess, I don't know if Islamist is the right term, but he definitely is more, he kind of moves away from the direction of secularism that Turkey was going in for a very long time. So I don't
Hmm.
want you to tell me necessarily what you personally think about this. I want it to be more of like, how do you think that this is affecting Turkish society? Are the people becoming more religious? Is this something that the people have always been religious and suppressed? Like, how does Erdogan moving into the direction of, making
Hmm.
Islam a bigger part of Turkish society again affect Turkey and the people?
Okay. So, uh, before Erdogan, it was impossible for a woman to wear scarf at a university, for example. So people think that he is directing Turkey to Islamism, and people consider him as an Islamist. But I don't think so, because Islam is my religion, is our religion. Our Turks, as Turks, our religion is Islam, and as I said before, it was impossible for women to wear headscarves at university before him. So if we talk about secularism, we talk about something that state cannot, the state should not, intervene with people's choice when it comes to religion, for example, in terms of religion. So um, people were not allowed at universities because they were wearing hijabs at the time. So this contradicts the core idea of secularism. So I don't think that he is, behaving like an Islamist and turning Turkey into an country where Turkey is, ruled by Islam. I
Okay.
think, yeah, I think this way.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't. Um, that's really interesting. Okay, so basically what you're saying is that it's not that he's an Islamist and it's not like he's enforcing Islam. He's just allowing for freedom of religion and allowing
Yeah,
for, more
yeah,
adequate
sure.
expression. Okay,
Yeah,
so it
sure.
seems
For
like he's almost,
example,
yeah, so he's more of a
my
reformer.
my sister doesn't wear a hijab. My sister doesn't wear a hijab, for example, but my mother do. My mother do wears. So it's all about yourself. It's all about who you want to be.
Okay, so now I'm gonna move on a little bit into a different direction away from Islam. Um, this is still kind of on the subject of Erdogan, but more so about like just the general Turkish government. How does how is it that Turkey goes about dealing with its minorities, and how does Turkey view specifically minorities like the Kurds in eastern Turkey?
Okay.
Like,
So I think, yeah. Please go on. Finish your question.
oh no,
Complete your
no, that was
question,
it.
please.
You can go.
Hmm? Okay. So the Western media. You are deceived by the Western media, really, because I studied at university in the eastern part of Turkey, and I was staying with two Kurds in the same room. They were my roommates, and we had nothing to do. We had no problem. We were eating together. Uh, for example, walking together. We were doing playing together. We were doing everything without thinking about whether he was a Kurd or not. So there's not actually a problem like this in Turkey, because we Kurds, Turks, and the other minorities live very well and get along very well, and we do not even think about their identities, their ethnicities. It's not important for us.
Okay.
I can go to the eastern part, and someone from the eastern part can come to the western part of Turkey. So this is perfect normal things here in Turkey, and we do not think about it. Actually, there's nothing like a Kurdish problem, the Kurd problem here in Turkey, but the Western media are trying to show people in those countries that there's actually, sorry, there's actually a problem like this, but there's nothing like that here in Turkey, and we're really happy to live together. Our ancestors fought together for this country. The Kurds, the Turks, and the other minorities, arm in arm, back to back, fought for this country.
So how does what is like the general consensus in Turkey in regards to Kurdish independence? Because there are obviously, there are some Kurds that do want their own independent state, whether that be in like including parts of southern Turkey, or just including like northern Syria and Iraq? Like, what is the
Mhm.
consensus in Turkey about that?
All right. So the eastern part of Turkey is mainly, Kurdish populated, and yeah, this, I think. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be separated. They're going to be parted. Let's say in the United States, for example, there is some parts where French people are overpopulated, and where French is maybe the second official language there. So does it mean that the French people there in the United States should be separated from the rest of the country? No, right? That's why the same thing applies here too. And as I said before, there's nothing like a Kurdish problem here in Turkey. There are some people, there are some ill-minded people who want to, part Turkey into smaller states, into smaller, maybe autonomous states. But the general consensus about it is, I can say that people want to live happily here together without any harmful ideas in mind. We are
So
really
I guess moving away from that, there's another subject I want to talk about. This one's obviously it's a little more of a racy subject, I guess, but it has to do with Turkey and Armenia, and basically just the kind of tense relationship between them, and also kind of like the Armenian claim of the Armenian genocide in 1915, whereas Turkey says that it wasn't a genocide and that Armenians are kind of like exaggerating the situation. How is that discussed and perceived in Turkey?
Okay. So when the Ottoman Empire was attacked by the powers, the Armenians, betrayed the Ottoman Empire and helped friends and French armies to, to capsize maybe the eastern part of Turkey. The Ottomans called the Armenians the loyal nation because they were really loyal to the Ottoman Empire, and they were living under the Ottoman Empire, and they were the last nation to be separated from the Ottoman Empire. That's why they were called the loyal nation by the Ottoman Empire. But as I said before, they helped French through our difficult times, and this is why there happened to no genocide, but they were relocated to the maybe southern part of the Ottoman Empire. So there was only a relocation of the Armenian people, but there was no genocide. If there happened a genocide, then there wouldn't be any Armenian on Earth. So
Okay, so basically, as you're saying, like as it stands, like the Armenians are like basically the concept of a genocide, the Armenian genocide is fabricated, and the claim that like 1.5 million people died is not doesn't have any truth in it.
So no, I don't say this. People did not die, but as I said before, they were relocated to the southern part of the Ottoman Empire. That's why, there had been deaths during their maybe journey to the southern part, and this is perfectly
Okay.
normal when you consider the area.
Okay, so you're just you're saying that there were deaths, but it wasn't systematic, and it wasn't 1.5 million.
No, because at the time there were not 1.5 million Armenians living in the country, living in the Ottoman Empire at the time. The total number was not that. So
Okay.
how come 1.5 million people could die if the total of the people, is not 1.5 million? So it makes no sense, I think.
Okay. Okay. So, and you would say that that's like kind of like the way that most Turkish people see this, yes? Like they would have a
Sorry?
similar, like you're saying, like would you say that this is kind of how most people in Turkey do see it as well?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I said before, we are open to an offer by Armenia as well. Yeah, if they want to open the archives and show the evidences that there happened something like this in the history, then we say that okay, then this is true, and we can do reparations or whatever you want us to do. We can do that.
There is kind of recently in the last few years discussion about Turkey joining the European Union. Obviously, if this were to happen, it would be for a little bit, and I've heard the discussion, but I haven't really heard much from Turkey or Turkish people about like what the general idea of that would be. Like, is that something that Turkish people see as favorable, or like how do Turkish people feel about joining the European Union?
We Turks generally do not want to join the European Union. The general idea is like this.
Is there any
So
specific
actually,
reason
we
for
think
that, or
that
is it
we do
just-
not need them. We do not need them.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we join the European Union, there will be, for example, free trade between the countries, among countries. There are some advantages and disadvantages as well, but the general idea, the most of the population in Turkey thinks that we do not, or we should not join the European Union.
Okay, that seems to be kind of a trend in a lot of countries, that it's becoming less popular to kind of have the desire to join the European Union.
Thank you so much, and right now I gotta wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah, you're most welcome. So thank you for everything.
So today we learned a little bit about Giresun, Turkish culture, and mentality. There will be more episodes coming. Until then, stay tuned and see you later.